Stepping into Celeste Legaspi's home is like setting foot in a cozy art space that showcases the family's artistry.
This is a major work of my father, and I really like it. It's very graceful, and he gave it to me. It's a gift. That's another work of my father, which is the Jeepney series.
Yeah.
And that's an important Jeepney series. All of us were given one each.
Wow.
All of my brothers and my brother and my sisters.
Yeah.
I want to show you this. It's my portrait. Okay. Lala made it.
Wow.
And okay, number one, those are not my boobs. She got it from a magazine. She put it there, and I said, okay, fine. And then I was talking to her, and I got angry over something, and I said, magalit akong gano'n. And she said, I will put that, sabi ni Lala. So she put the flames.
Fire, all the flames.
And then she put gumamela on my hair, which I really love. This is the oldest painting in the house. It was painted in 1946 by my father, right after the war. And it's my favorite because I really asked him for it, and I didn't even know how important it was. It was only later that it was told to me that it's a very, very important work. And I like it na, look at that, look at his shoulder, diba? Deformity, and they're all so sad. My father glued those stones himself 2 years before he died. He chose the painting, his painting, that the etched glass will be based on. And the concept was when the sun is setting, the light will hit the stones and magre-refract daw yung and it will be like exactly what's supposed to be happening. The muse is showering us with gifts. Oh, diba? This was the set for one of my concerts, Celeste with Strings Attached, in black and white, because that was the concept of that concert, music and photography.
Yeah.
With Jaime Sobel de Ayala. So it's been hanging here on my wall. This is the work of my daughters. I'm very proud of it. They won first prize in the first Philippine Graphic Fiction Awards. That was put up with Neil Gaiman.
Wow.
Very proud. As a matter of fact, the next year, nobody won first prize.
No one could meet the standard.
Yeah, it's the Mad, Sad, Incredible, and True Adventures of Hika Girl.
And that's Waya, because she has Hika.
Yeah, because Waya always had Hika. So that was written by Waya and illustrated by my other daughter, Lala. There. Okay, I have to show you this. Oh, there.
Wow, your own store?
That's my own name. No, I saw it. It was an exhibit of design students, and their theme was OPM. And one of them chose Mamang Sorbetero. So she made an ice cream parlor, and she put my name. So I said, my daughter said, why don't you buy it, Mama? I said, okay. Mamang Sorbetero, tayo'y sumayaw, kalembang mong hawak, muling ikaw ay batang munti, sa'yo'y naghihintay, bigyang ligaya ngayong tagaraw, la 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 la.
Let's talk about Ang Larawan, because in a previous life, you played Candida, one of the sisters, and now you're playing Doña.
Oh, Doña Loleng.
Yes, right. So a movie.
With Girlie.
Why did you think of putting this into a movie and a musical?
It was Girlie who always had this vision. We have to put Larawan on film because the message is the strongest, and when we started Larawan in 1997, I already told her this is our masterpiece, and we wanted to be able to give to the youth of today, the Filipinos of today, the message of that play, because it's a beautiful message. That materialism is not what we are about. That there was once upon a time the Filipinos were so elegant, and we were about music and the arts, and it's just that after the war destroyed all that, World War II destroyed all that. Yeah. But it's still within us. It's in our hearts, and it's in our minds.
Exactly, especially in this day and age where we're hungering for good
Yes.
news, beauty,
Yes.
and we need to be reminded of how beautiful our
Yes,
country
yes,
is
exactly,
and was.
exactly.
Now let's speak about your excellent recording career. You're known for your gold, double platinum
Okay.
awards. Do you have any favorites? Anything that really
The
is...
translations of Rolando. That's my first recording.
Okay.
That will always be memorable for me, unforgettable. I also like the second, Ako at si Celeste, because I was pregnant with Lala.
Ah.
As a matter of fact, that's the way we conceptualized the album, because I was already pregnant. So they said, that's why Saranggola ni Pepe got in there.
Okay.
Because it was the growth of a woman as she falls in love, etc., etc. And then she gives birth, and then here's the child. And that's why Saranggola ni Pepe was included there.
So I started writing images that somehow is a commentary of what the situation was then, at the time I wrote that. That was martial law. So there's this matandang bingi, and that's Marcos. Not listening to the lessons of history, you know. Dictators end up like all dictators, miserably. And then, malabo ang tunog ng kampanilya ni Padre. Maingay ang taginting ng rosaryo ng babae. That's the church not saying anything about martial law. And then there's the First Lady showing off her religiosity, her being holy.
I remember reading somewhere too that song Saranggola ni Pepe. President Noynoy Aquino told you the story of how his father really used that song to kind of keep him going when he was
that
in
really.
prison.
I said, oh my gosh.
You were very active back in the day. You were even out at rallies.
Yes.
Out there for the presidential run of Cory Aquino. Tell me about those days.
You know, before Ninoy Aquino was killed, I was just in an ivory tower of music and performing, and my children, raising my family. We had just moved here, etc., etc. So I didn't know anything. And then Ninoy Aquino was killed. So the first thing I did was to understand what was happening. And when I did understand what was happening, there was no turning back. So when Cory ran for president, we were trying to help raising funds. I still had hesitations because, you know, I'm only human. I was afraid. This was very frightening. But when the elections happened na and talo daw si Cory, and then finally people power happened, and Cardinal Sin started calling people. So the first night pa lang we were there na. When we arrived there, kaunti pa lang ang tao. I think it was Lino Broca who called, they need help in Rage Veritas. So we went to Rage Veritas naman, put on a show there. Tapos, oy, ano daw, sa Channel 4 daw, punta naman kami, hindi pa rin kami. Meanwhile, my children were just staying here in the house watching TV.
Yeah.
And then Girlie and I got to be the head of the kitchen brigade in Channel 4. We had a group of volunteers that we just met there. Everything was so from the heart, and and it was dangerous. They had just shot soldiers there, and only 4 of us were allowed to enter Channel 4, and my husband was outside. They weren't allowed in, only women.
So you're also with a lot of other OPM stars like Jim Paredes at the time.
It was a year after that we realized that we have the power to get together and become an association, a group that can determine our lives. And that's how Organisasyon ng Pilipinong Mga Awit was born.
I heard you once say that the magic for you when you perform is this connection with the audiences.
Yes.
How do you make sure to establish this connection? What's the secret to that?
Well, sometimes you don't get that connection. But the secret is always being relaxed. I have learned that after years and years of performing. Because especially when you're new, you're always so tense. You have stage fright, you're so scared. So the audience cannot relax with you. Once you've conquered that and you've become more used to performing, then the audience and you can be together in some kind of a zen place, it's really special. And to me, singing is like praying. I feel that that's when I'm closest to God.
It's great.